My name is Robbie Jones.
My name is Lauren Hood.
And I'm Patrick.
And our project is now putting solar lights for the football stadium so everyone can have night games.
Right now our project is solar lights for the stadium, but initially our project was to outfit the entire campus with solar lights, like for the parking lots, pathways, general street lights.
Generally much smaller area lighting as opposed to the large scale of stadium lights.
Right. And what we ran into our first problem was, I think it was
In 1998. 98.
Not 98. Yeah. They at the school actually had a proposal to do the same exact thing that we wanted to do, and they turned it down. So that kind of killed our plans right there from the start. So we went to kind of a plan B, which was to
The track.
yeah, the new jogging track down by the Marine Science Center. We were going to try to put lights around there so you can run in the dark or later times of day. But it turns out that
It turns out that the electrical company that installs all the wiring for all for our campus is one of the mine directors that approves everything for the school. So if I take this proposal to him, they'll probably more likely be denied for the fact that his company is the one that's doing the hard wiring. So all that's losing money for his own company. So there's a political money thing playing right there. So the next step we went is through some advice is for the stadium. The stadium has no lighting whatsoever right now, and they're moving up the ranks. And I thought that would be a great spot for putting solar powered lights.
also with our girls track team being pretty dominant, we can have like more home track meets like at night and just in general.
Our new disadvantages have to do with coal-fired power plants and the installation, the wiring, the light bulbs, and the cost and high maintenance. Coal-fired power plants cause at least 24,000 deaths a year, including 2,800 from lung cancer. So you can see the rest of the stats up there. Our advantages are the same as before, except the LEDs are brighter than our current bulbs, and they do function in cold and cloudy weather, and simultaneous cold and cloudy weather. And general diagram of how the solar panels work is as such. The solar panels will be hooked up to the LED lights, so that way the LED lights won't have to be hooked up to any kind of electricity wiring grid. So it will be a completely self-contained system, independent of all power plants.
Now, in saying that though, we have actually ran into a section option. We could actually make it an option where we could wire in these lights into the actual electricity. And what happens is when there's blackouts or whatnot, or we have power reserved there, the electric company could actually purchase electricity we have actually saved and take it for them, and that's actually more income for ourselves. The only downside on that is there's a blackout, and that's including us too, because we're wired in with them.
Our cost of lighting on campus is still undergoing research. We did have the initial cost of all the area lighting, but we're still trying to contact the sports director and the electricity people for how much the projected cost of stadium lights would be for an electrically wired grid rather than solar powered. Our source of equipment will now be hopefully safe wall, solar, and LED lighting, and the solar panel store. That's really its name. It's not just a generic made-up name. And our alternative sources for the solar-powered LED lights for the stadium is still undergoing research. It's not very popular, and if it is, it's very hard to find. But there are a lot of places that do sell large-scale solar panels capable of the workload powering large solar lights.
Now this actually is a new thing. A lot of the Major League Baseball fields, they're actually going solar power lighting. Minnesota Twins, they're opening theirs in November 19 of this year. So in about a week or so, or 2 weeks, they're going to open theirs, and they're all solar powered. And there's three other Major League Baseball fields that already have solar power. In China, where the Olympics were done, or where they were held at, they had their whole the whole thing was solar powered. And that was pretty interesting. So it's actually moving up in the technology field in the sports arenas and whatnot.
Taiwan has an entire football stadium also powered on nothing but solar powered, and the stadium itself is actually surrounded by these solar panel units shaped like one giant blue solar panel dragon. It's really
Yeah,
looking.
it's like a dragon.
It's incredibly massive. It's something you can see from space, I'm sure.
Oh, we did 10 minutes.
Just click on post credit.
For the installation should be relatively easy. Instead of attaching the solar panel lights onto poles like for the area lighting, you'll be having the entire thing installed, including the pole and everything. And the wiring from the solar panels will be connected to the wiring from the LED lighting, and it's just about as simple as that. Sir? Okay. Again, the man hours for installation only would be the cost of the project, aside from the purchase price. Again, there's no trenches or wiring, no switches to worry about or install. And our product payoff is also undergoing more research. Without your initial cost of electricity, it's hard to get a product payoff figure. And the tax advantages are the same for the area lighting. The LED approved tax incentives and green leaf points are earned. Savings would be equal to the cost of current lighting if we had any. There are no payment to power plants, and there's no meters, and there are less bulb replacements. LED lights are good for about 30,000 hours on average, and that's about 3.5 years. And the LED lights, how that lifespan is calculated is not, the bulbs will burn out or explode in about 3.5 years. The lights will just start to dim over time. The actual time for the bulbs to stop working is practically indeterminate by now. So far, our accomplishments are as such. We've got our abstracts typed up. Our final proposal is a work in progress. Our progress report is done. Our audience analyses are done, and our background research is almost entirely complete. What we still need to get done is finish the proposal. We have to find out the cost of the purchase and installation. We're waiting on the permission from JU to get all this okayed. We still need a conference with the sports director to see how often the stadium would be used for night games and what teams would be using the stadium. We need to measure the field and survey it and make sure we can have the optimal arrangement for lighting. And we're thinking of installing informational placards for other people who visit. It'll be kind of like a
Learning experience.
as you said. Are there any questions?
Well, I have one question. Now you mentioned that there are solar powered sports arenas and whatnot. Are they LED
They're
lights?
all LED.
LED lights.
And there are no complaints from the athletes about how hard it is to see with those lights?
So far, Oakland's actually had theirs for in 2007. They installed it, and they said it's actually brighter. And the one in for the Minnesota Twins is actually visible when they're on. You can see them in satellite up in outer space. That's how bright they are. So it's pretty interesting.
My research shows that none of the athletes have actually complained about it being too bright. At that height in the air, it's not. It would be like shining an LED flashlight in your eyes. It's the way the light spread is. It's not like a pinpoint of like solar light in your face.
It's not like you're like directly at it as you're playing.
And I wouldn't suggest staring at it, but
In the $15,000 budget, we could probably afford one. Now, hopefully, if ours keeps going, our optimal goal is for the 100,000.
That would be something to know.
No, I know it. I knew my number. It was 100,000, 110,000, 150. So, in 150,000, that would definitely cover that. That would be a surplus, as a matter of fact.
So remember, you could also see if JU is willing to provide funding in kind as well. See if there's enough to,
that conference. We actually have it at the sports director person.
So would these like to be assigned as a regular stadium?
They what?
They wouldn't be assigned to air as a regular stadium, right? So you
I
could
wouldn't
have that
suspect so
effect.
because we don't have risers,
Bleachers raised.
so and they wouldn't need to be as high. But I'm sure that
Would that light affect the talking about?
No,
It's actually-
there's actually 8 square panels per panel, and they use, like at the Major League Baseball, they use 10 of those. And according to our football field, it looks like we're only use about 4. So
And if
it
they're
won't
spaced
be
out, it
totally
won't be-
as much as like an NFL football field or whatnot. And the NFL football fields, or the Olympics arena, they have them all around. They're like one continuous thing all around, shining downward.
Okay, let's thank our speakers.